Hi, Kristen here. I help busy single moms and entrepreneurs remove blocks to achieve financial success fast so they can live a rich life full of peace, joy, and abundance. Now, if you've been with me for a while, you know I'm all about finding, researching, and sharing tips and tools to get after your financial goals fast. And I have something on Wednesday called Wacky Wednesday where I share a wild, wacky, wistful, wonderful topic that could either be a DIY, a cool time saver, a mom hack, any of those things that I think a single mom might appreciate. So today is all about forks over knives. Knives. What the heck is that? So stay tuned. Yes, forks over knives. What in the heck am I talking about? Well, first of all, it's two things. Number one, it is a movie. So at the time of me making this video blog, it is a movie you can watch for free on Netflix and Amazon Prime Video. So watch the video. It explains everything I'm about to say. Number two, forks over knives is a eating lifestyle. It's a way to eat. And it's considered a plant-based whole foods diet. It's not necessarily vegan or vegetarian, although it's, no meat, so I guess you could say it's that. But it's also about no oils, no dairy, no fish, no seafood, no eggs, no processed food, no sugar. Ugh, right? Like I've just described your worst nightmare. You might as well be in prison and eating their food, right? You think of forks over knives as eating with your fork and not with a knife where you're cutting or slaughtering the meat, okay? So if you've been to my website, www.kristen-ann.com, and I think it's on my About Me page, you would have read about how I used to eat. My main food group was sugar, specifically Twizzlers and donut holes. Like literally, I'm even embarrassed. I mean, I kind of watered down that on my About Me page because it was getting too long. But yeah, I could eat a whole bag of Twizzlers. I could eat a whole box of donut holes on the way home from the grocery store. I mean, it was bad. And I also had a body shape that looked like somebody who ate Twizzlers and donut holes for their main food groups. Sugar was it. I really thrived on that. I didn't eat a lot of vegetables. However, I had a baby. And I was trying to model better eating habits, and I started watching some documentaries on sugar. That's really where I was going. I had no intention of becoming a plant-based type of diet, but I was watching these documentaries on sugar and how bad they are for you. And other videos start coming up, so I picked another video, and it was about a very handsome man that was talking about he was interviewing people with MS and started talking about what was in their diet, and then it was all about how this diet can help. This particular diet he was talking about could slow down the effects of MS, and then it turned out he had MS for 20 years, and he was a young 40-something and looked really good. You would have no idea that he had MS. So I was like, oh my gosh, food can heal, and I didn't know food could do these things. Then it led me to discovering forks over knives. Now, my goodness, I do realize that when you do watch these documentaries, there's some bias to it, but the research in forks over knives was so compelling, even if there was some bias towards it. I just couldn't believe this poor eating that I had for all these years could be reversed, if I actually started eating better. And I will say I am an older mom. I'm 48, and my 2-year-old is not 3 yet. She will be soon, but she's not yet. So I'm not a grandma. I literally had a kid, the normal way people have kids. I had a boyfriend I was with, and I had, so I really wanted to make sure I was doing everything I could, not only to model good eating behavior, but to make sure I lived a long and healthy life. And she didn't have an old mom who walked around with a cane or something when she was in high school. So I was very, conscious of these things. So that was a little bit of my motivation. Now, I will tell you, as a girl, I grew up in Wisconsin. So this totally went against my family lineage of beef and dairy and pig farmers, right? I normally ate all these different things that the plant-based diet is now saying you could not eat. So I was like, man, will my body reject this? Because this is not, but it didn't, obviously. So the thing is I was kind of doing a transformation in my house anyway. I was like getting out all the toxic cleaning chemicals. And now I was like, well, we're going to take out all the toxic foods from our diet. And I will tell you, I didn't just go in and like throw away all the stuff I'm not supposed to eat. If there was still meat in the fridge or freezer, it was still stayed there until I prepared it and we ate it. I just didn't replace it. That's how I eased into it. I just didn't do this cold turkey. And mostly not because I was too cheap to like throw out good food or I didn't want to do this cold turkey. It was mostly I had to retrain myself how to cook. I had just in the last 18 months figured out how to cook. I had a lady teach me and I had all my go-to meals I could cook really quick, like my chicken meals and my beef meals. And I could do those without a recipe. Like I could just do them all fast. Now I had to like chop lots of vegetables. And not that I didn't chop vegetables in my other recipes, but this was a lot more vegetable chopping and a lot more like how do I saute something without oil and how do I do this and so it was more about me learning how to relearn how to cook is why I eased into it slowly because I just didn't have the knowledge. So now I bought the Forks Over Knives cookbooks and I just picked recipes I thought were pretty easy and that I knew I would like and that my daughter would like. That's how I started out. And then I would just weave those in to the meals during the week until eventually all of our meals were a plant-based diet meal, meaning we didn't have any more meat left or anything like that. Now, I will say, to my surprise, my daughter pretty much ate them. I mean, I was eating them, so she liked to eat whatever was on my plate. I mean, that's always actually how she's been, so that was easy. However, it was something new, and she didn't quite recognize it. She didn't really eat it the first time, but if I prepared it again, like the second or third time, she actually ate it, and it just was like something it was like a normal thing we ate. It wasn't a big deal. This may sound too overwhelming or too crazy, and I will tell you, I am right there with you. I watched an interview with Cory Booker, who at the time of this taping is a senator from New Jersey, and he was talking in this interview how everyone should switch to a plant-based diet, no more meat, all this, and I thought, what the heck is this guy talking about? This is the craziest thing I've ever heard. I mean, there is no way I can just eat plants. I mean, where am I going to get my protein? Where am I going to get my calcium? I mean, these will be all the common questions people have for you when you switch to this diet. And honestly, they're all answered in the Forks Over Knives documentary. Like it tells you, I mean, basically where are the animals you're eating, where are they getting their protein and calcium from? It's from the plants. They eat plants, then we eat them. So why don't just eat the plant? Take out the middleman, right? So turns out, fast forward 2 months later, now I've started, that's when I started my own journey, and I don't think he's too crazy. So it's just funny. Even when I was watching him, I can't believe I'm now doing a video on eating a plant-based diet because I just thought that was the kookiest thing I'd ever heard was when he said that. So I will tell you, the food industry has a lot to do with those food pyramids. I mean, back when I was a kid, it was the 4 food groups, and I went to a pyramid, and I went to a pyramid with the different lines instead of this way, and then I went back. The food industry has their fingerprints all over that food pyramid, so not sure, these are things we just didn't know, so I don't know how much credibility I give to that food pyramid anymore. I give more credibility to these doctors and scientists that actually have done the research that shows how we can live a better life not eating meat. Now, I know you're probably thinking, oh, I'm going to be eating salads all the time. I thought that too. In my first week trying it, I ate a lot of salads, which got really boring really fast. Actually, these meals are great, and I like the Mexican twist that they have on it because I like Mexican food. So, black bean tacos, all that kind of good stuff. So it's actually quite yummy. And again, coming from a person who ate Twizzlers and donut holes, this is actually a big deal that I'm actually eating vegetables because I am not a vegetable person. My sister and I did not eat vegetables growing up. My parents tried and we just were like, ew, we didn't eat any vegetables. I think corn and carrots is as crazy as we got, and potatoes. All right, so what were my results? Well, first of all, weight loss. In 2 months, I lost about 10 pounds, and I didn't exercise. I had a crazy schedule at work. I was also relaunching my business. So I was getting about 5 to 6 hours of sleep a night, and I am an 8-hour girl night kind of sleeper, at least I used to be. But switching to this diet, I had the energy and I kept going, and I didn't really realize it at the time. I didn't realize I wasn't getting that much sleep because I didn't feel the effects during the day. I was actually felt good, and it felt good to like lose weight and not be counting calories or wondering what I was eating. I was just doing these recipes and just relearning, how to cook. That was my biggest struggle, actually, was just relearning how to cook, not the food itself. So what I've done for you guys for this lesson is I've created a easy recipe. You can use this recipe as a side dish. You can use it as a main dish. I will tell you, when my parents visited me, I didn't even tell them I had switched to this lifestyle, eating lifestyle. I just cooked stuff out of my recipe book, and they asked for seconds. So this is one of the recipes I actually used with them. Yeah, they didn't have any idea they weren't eating. I mean, obviously they knew they weren't eating meat. I didn't have a big chunk of meat on their plate, but in the different enchiladas we were eating, and the different, beef and broccoli, although the beef was not beef, and my stir-fried chicken and rice, big hunks of cauliflower. Anyway, they asked for seconds, they ate more. So those were my results. I lost weight, my daughter ate it, and my parents, who are from Wisconsin and eat those types of meals, they ate the plant-based and asked for seconds. So there you go. So I have a great recipe. As you weave in these different recipes over time, this is a go-to one I use all the time, and I have it there for your download. As always, I look forward to hearing your journey of not only your financial success, but how you're removing toxins from your diet and your household and all that great stuff. So if you found this video helpful, let me know below in the comments section. Tell me yeah, or I'm gonna watch the video tonight, something like that. Just, I just think more information the better. I mean, you don't have to do this. Maybe you just do meatless Mondays. Who knows? Do what works for your family. Again, I look forward to your success. If you think someone could benefit from this blog and this information, please share it. And remember, always lead with gratitude. Love you guys. Bye.